What's up, everyone? Welcome to the RRBG podcast. And today I would like to welcome back to the show Mr. Riley Breckenridge of Thrice. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. It's been a while. I think last time we did
Yeah.
this, I didn't even have video. It was
No, I
all
don't think so.
it
Yeah.
was all audio, which has been drastically better for me in terms of people actually paying attention to what I'm doing here.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's the way of the world now.
It's the future. I started with the pandemic because I figured, if I can't meet people up in person, then I gotta see them somehow to have the conversation.
Right.
But speaking of the pandemic, so
Mhm.
right after the pandemic, you guys put out Horizons East,
Yes.
and we're getting ready to launch Horizons West. Yeah,
Finally. It
finally.
only took us 4 years.
Yeah. What happened? So was it 4 years of writing, getting it ready, or did you guys have stuff and then just other things got in the way?
Well, the original plan was to do this huge studio session where we basically recorded enough material for two records and then we'd split them up and East would come out when it came out and then we'd follow it up with West maybe like 9 months later or like a year later. And in writing Horizons East, we kind of realized that pushing the project to like 20 to 24 songs was going to be a tall task for us. Like we worked really hard on East and we were all a little bit burnt and we had some songs that were like close to being done. Two of which we ended up recording and putting out as like singles later, Open Your Eyes and Dream and then Dead Wake. But the other batch of songs wasn't like super close to being finished. There was like the basic framework, but they still needed a lot of love and attention. Um, and then we knew that we had the 20th anniversary of The Artist in the Ambulance coming up.
Mm,
And we knew that we had to do something around that. We had been talking about the idea of re-recording it, and we knew we were going to tour on it. And it just seemed like within the window that we had originally given ourselves, getting West to a point where we felt good about it and felt like it was respectful of the work that we had put into East was going to be too tall of a task for us. We wanted to like spend time on it and really put a lot of time and consideration into the writing and recording of it. Um, so we ended up doing that whole artist cycle and we re-recorded that and wanted to come back to writing West with fresh ears and just like a new batch of inspiration and stuff like that.
interesting. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's obviously you want to give the attention and love to the project that feels right for you. Obviously, your fans are like clamoring, like, "Where's part two? Is it ever
right.
coming?" I was looking up stuff, and there's like Reddit threads of people like, "Is it ever gonna happen?"
Mhm.
Like, it hasn't been that long.
Right. Well, hopefully it'll be worth it. I mean, we all feel really good about West, and I think just having a little space from East and being able to work some new influences in and um, maybe pull some stuff from what we learned re-recording Artist in the Ambulance, pull some of that energy, pull some of that heaviness, and incorporate that into West. Like I think it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, man, the first single Nash is awesome. It's very heavy and
Oh, thanks.
abrasive. Like, I wouldn't say a change for you guys because I mean you guys have been heavy and abrasive before,
Hmm.
but kind of like a return to that, I would say, from like your earlier days where you were a little heavier, a little less bluesy. Uh,
Hmm.
so was it, I was going to ask you, was it the inspiration from re-recording artists that brought you into this like younger mind frame of like, let's get a little heavier, let's get a little more aggressive?
I think a little bit. I mean, revisiting those songs, it kind of sparked some stuff in us. It helped us realize like why that record was as important as it was to a lot of people and to us. We kind of revisited parts that were heavy in like a less sludgy way. I mean, Nash has its sludgy moments, but it also has like a double bass breakdown at the end, which is something we haven't done in 20 years. And maybe if we hadn't done the artist re-record, we wouldn't have even considered putting double bass in something. And I'm glad we did. People seem stoked on it, and it's fun to play. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to playing that live. But yeah, I think revisiting that stuff, realizing why we did what we did back then, and seeing if there was a way that we could work that into what we're doing now and where we're at now creatively was important. And I'm stoked that it like shows on that first single.
absolutely, man. I'm super stoked for it. I mean, I love all your guys' music, but I'm obviously, it's the nostalgia for me of like back then, when I
Hmm.
first started listening to you guys, it was heavier, and it's a difficult thing as we get older and, learn more and get more mature. And also, with a little bit of success, obviously you guys have been successful, and you kind of tone down a little bit on the aggression. There's not much to be angry about as you get older, you
Yeah, I'm
know.
plenty angry now, I think.
I mean, yes, there's plenty in the world to be upset about, but I
Right.
mean, like before, we were angsty about our lives and our parents and like the
Yeah.
little other things, other reasons to be angry. But I feel like it's hard to kind of go back to that mindset, and I feel like what you guys did is perfect of just revisiting an album that got you started in that world of heaviness, and make it even heavier because it sounds heavier. There's the bass is deeper, the
Hmm.
drums sound more impactful. Is there another Thrice album from your back catalog that you guys might consider re-recording like that? You think?
I don't I don't think so. I mean, we certainly haven't talked about it. And when it's come up before, it's kind of like, I don't know. Um, I feel like with Illusion of Safety, that has a very unique and of the moment energy that I think if we tried to reproduce that in any way, we would screw it up. And I would hate to do that. Um, Artists, like there are some feels on that record that are stuff that we're still kind of doing now. And I think we're doing it better now because we've learned how to play with like feel and dynamic, and our internal clocks are better. And so with Illusion of Safety, that's like we didn't record that to a click. The tempos are all over the map. Stuff is like rushing and slowing down. And I think if we tried to reproduce that in a studio setting, it would not come out very well. And then Visu, I think we're all pretty happy with it. I know Dustin's mentioned some stuff about like his voice has matured over the years, like anyone's does. Um, so he wishes sometimes that we had a new recording of that, but I don't think that's something that we would explore. And then everything beyond that, I think we feel pretty good about it. That's kind of when we started doing recording on our own and making records sound closer to what we wanted them to sound like. Um, yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I wanted to, since you mentioned about the sound, you guys have worked with Scott Evans before,
Hmm.
but it's always listed as just mixing, and this is the first time I've seen it as additional production. So has he been kind of, because he has a very like his band Kowloon has a very like abrasive sound, very heavy as well. Was there any elements of that that were incorporated into the new sound for this album?
They're definitely an influence.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, absolutely. Like if you hear like the choruses of Nash, it's something that I wrote that's very in that Kowloon Walled City vein. And I've brought plenty of ideas to the table where I'm like, it's we always name stuff kind of after whatever it's inspired by, like the little demo parts. So I'll be like, oh, this is Kowloon Walled Shitty or like whatever. Um, So yeah, they're an influence for sure. Scott's influence, he does all the mixing. He's been helpful to me. I'll like bounce some drum ideas off of him. I think he's got a really great ear for drum parts, and like if I'm doing too much or I'm doing too little, I appreciate having like an completely outside of the band structure opinion on stuff like that. So there was a little producing in that side. And then like kind of just we gave him so many tracks of stuff. Like there's so many layers on this record that he kind of had to do some piecing together of like, are there too many layers here? Are there not enough layers here? Is this loud enough? Which is all part of mixing, but it was also kind of in an editing sense, not editing as in correcting stuff or gridding stuff, but just like helping us arrange things.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard some of their older stuff, but it's been I revisited it, recently when I saw that he was involved, and
Mhm.
I wanted to touch base because it's been a long time, and man, it's so good, and then the recordings are so clean for like a 2012 record, or
Mhm.
I'm starting to sound like an old man, but it's just to me it sounds awesome, and it does, I think, bring a new tone for you guys. That with Nash, at least. I
Mhm.
don't know if is the rest of the album kind of similar to Nash in terms of heaviness and abrasiveness, you think?
No.
No.
It's all over the place as usual.
Yeah.
Um, that's probably, I would say, probably the heaviest one, but all the songs have moments where they get kind of gnarly. Yeah, as far as his mixing prowess goes, he is so good at getting bands to sound like bands, like it's not over processed or overproduced. And he finds a level of clarity between the instruments so you can really hear what everybody's doing all the time. And he's got a real great ear for dynamic as well. Um, that's something he helped us with from a producing sense. Like you only have so many levels that you can go up as a band. Like if you're trying to get intense, like there is a ceiling that you will hit, and you can't do the like heavier part once you hit this climax. Um, and sometimes bands will get stuck on, well, maybe if we like put more stuff on it, it'll be heavier. And in a lot of cases, that's not true. Like it just washes everything out. Um, so he helped us with that a lot, especially on this record because we had so many layers of things and so many ideas.
Yeah, man. It's a thing that people, I guess, non-musicians, just listeners, don't really take into account. But like some of the heaviest moments in music, in hardcore music specifically, are when everything kind of just drops out for a second,
Hmm.
and you get maybe like one bell, like ding, and then it
Oh
just
yeah,
goes crazy.
that's
And
all dynamics. Yeah.
yeah, and it's in Nash at that moment. He Dustin does that scream and then comes in the double pedal and the heavy.
Hmm.
Is there a keyboard over that guitar riff that I'm hearing, or is that all pedal effects?
It is pedal effects. I'm not super up to speed on like
Oh, I don't need a specific like what
how they
pedal it
pulled it
is.
off, but I believe that it is like a synth modeling effect within the Line 6 Helix that they use for their guitars.
Gotcha.
So instead of it being a typical guitar pedal, it's like running more through this weird synth thing. So
That's
it is guitars, but it's played through this synth thing, so it sounds super weird and cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. For a second I was like, that could probably be a synth. Did they add a keyboard? Is like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
that'd
have
be
some guy on
interesting.
stage pressing one key.
One key with a top hat, and I'm not judging
Yeah.
anyone for
Yeah.
that. Um, all right. Well, that's cool, man. I've like I said, I'm excited to hear the rest of it. Horizons East was awesome. There was the scavenger track is I still play it to this day, almost
Oh,
at
thanks.
least once a week. I put it on. There is some weird like attachment to it though for me, where like there's a pro wrestler that passed away whose theme was very similar to the lyrics and
Oh,
the
whoa.
like even the video sort of
That's
and
wild.
and even wilder is the his voice was that raspy kind of higher pitch similar to the singing, so like I immediately attached it to that, so like I just listened to it, and even though it has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt, that's my Bray
Yeah,
Wyatt song.
that's cool.
um I wanted to ask you before when we were talking about Artists in the Ambulance, and this was more of a personal question for you, or
Mhm.
is there an iconic album or a classic album from an old band that you would like to hear re-recorded in the way that you guys did Artists?
Hmm. That's tough.
Mm.
On the spot, it's tough. If I
For me,
thought about
here,
it.
maybe I'll help you out, but for me, it
Mhm.
would be Opposite of December from Poison the Well. I feel like
That would definitely be one.
a new
Yeah.
version of that would be sick.
Yeah, that would be very sick.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe Beyond Hypothermia, Cave In.
Mm, that would be
Um,
good.
Even Until Your Heart Stops would be cool.
That would be sick too. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you gave me some good ones. That's
Yeah.
some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
I feel, bands, these albums that we listen to for years and years and years, and we love them as they are. And some fans get upset when people re-record stuff. They're like, they maybe think of it as laziness, like, oh, you don't have anything new, so you're just re-recording an old
Right.
thing. But it's just bands mature, and you start getting more
Hmm.
money, and you get better gear, and you get
Hmm.
better at playing your instrument, or better at singing, or whatever it may be. And it could lead. You might have had a vision in your head, and it was limited back then due to funds or whatever it was, access to studios or whatever. There's a bunch I would love to hear, but the first one that always comes to mind to me is that Opposite one. But Cave
For
In
sure.
would be sick as well,
Yeah.
for sure. Um, Talk a little bit more about Horizons. Now, I'm kind of dumb, so I'm assuming Horizons are just the east and west. There's no north and south. Just
No, we're not going to do North and South.
okay. Just making sure, because you guys do tend to like, like with the Alchemy Index, like you were like, oh, what an undertaking to do two albums. Like you guys did four. Like,
Right.
what are you talking
Right.
about? But yeah, okay. So no north and south coming.
Mm-mm.
Thematically, East was
Mhm.
about, pretty much coming out of the pandemic,
Mhm.
how things are, humanity is kind of fragile in the sense of like keeping stuff together and trying to be better people and whatnot.
Mhm.
What are we looking at in terms of themes for West?
Um, I think I know it has to deal with mortality. We're all getting older, and I think the way you look at the world and uh, deal with the world around you changes. I know that's a theme that runs through a lot of the songs. Is kind of um, dealing with getting older, dealing with experiencing the world with open eyes, even though that you're older. A lot of people kind of get set in their ways and resistant to change at all because it can be scary. But I think a lot of the lyrical content um, kind of speaks to seeing the world through open eyes and being open to new experience. Um, it's a tough one for me because Dustin writes all the lyrics. So
Yeah,
even though I know the lyrics, I don't know
you know where they
exactly what he
come
means, and
from.
I don't want to misstate any of the intentions.
Okay, well then let's go on a more writing music, perspective on it. So with like an Alchemy Index, you had a thing in mind. You're like, okay, water, and you started thinking about what can water, whatever, sound like.
Hmm.
Is there anything that you guys were envisioning when trying to come up with riffs or just parts to kind of thematically fit what Horizons would be? Because in my mind, like when I think East.
Hmm.
I'm from the East. I was born in New Jersey, so I think more abrasiveness, actually, more anger and like grayness. The sky is gray all the
Hmm.
time, and people in Boston are always fighting. So, and then West is more of like a chill, surfy,
Right.
weed vibe.
Yeah.
Um, but it doesn't seem that way in terms of like just musically. What were you guys kind of using as an inspiration when writing parts?
I think we wanted stuff to be a little darker, inspired by the sun going down.
Mm,
Um, so stuff is darker. It's a little more aggressive. I mean, it's definitely more aggressive than East was. Um, Sonically, I'd say we kind of wanted just we wanted this record to be whatever it wanted to be. There wasn't a lot of limitations put on what we could write or what we should write. We did know that we wanted it to be a bit heavier and more aggressive. We did know that we wanted it to be darker, but we didn't enter into the writing process like, oh, don't do this or don't do this. It was very much just open. And like any Thrice record, everybody in the band is writing parts. Everybody's bringing stuff to the table, and it kind of gets all thrown into the blender, and everybody puts their opinion in, and it gets shape shifted into this weird thing that ends up being the record. And I think based on past experience, even if we go into a record and we're like, we want it to sound like this and like this and like this, we get in the studio and stuff starts happening and it ends up coming out completely different. Um, I would have like friends text me what during recording, like, oh, how's it going? How's it sounding? And I'm like, I don't even really know where it's going to end up yet. Like I know what the demos sounded like, but if I've learned anything from being in this band for 28 years or whatever it's been, uh, it's gonna come out different. It always comes out different. But it always ends up in a place that we're all really happy with because we don't put it to bed until we're stoked on what we're doing.
yeah, yeah, that's awesome though. I mean, that's how it should be. It should feel natural. If you put limitations on things, is it really art at that point? Like
No.
you're kind of restricting yourself. And I guess in some aspects, in some things, like if you're doing, like the elements thing with alchemy, like you want to have some kind of themes, to fit. But yeah, it should be free and it should be what feels right for you guys.
Hmm.
And that always, as adults and as people, as humans, that changes a lot and seems to be changing with more frequency as we're moving along with life right now.
Hmm.
Because I remember even post pandemic, during pandemic I took that one pretty rough, and I was like, the end of the world is here, and I still feel that way, but now it's a different perspective.
Right. Yeah.
I still feel like the world's ending, but from a different point of view. Uh,
Yes.
um, okay, you guys are heading out on tour in
Hmm.
October, shortly after the album comes out. Um, is there, and speaking of the end of the world, are there any things when you're planning out a tour that you guys take into consideration regarding, like, I don't want to get too political or anything like that, but
Hmm.
there's stuff happening
Yeah.
in the world. Do you guys think about that at all? Is that all booking agents and you just say fuck it wherever you put us, or like are there specific things you guys are trying to avoid or anything like that?
Not in particular. I think we kind of just have to put our heads down and hope that everything goes okay. I mean, like with touring post-COVID, you didn't know if somebody was going to get sick. And then if somebody got sick, like, how do we handle it? What do we do? And, different bands were handling it in different ways. We were on tour with Bayside, and a few of us got COVID, and we had to shut it down for whatever the CDC recommendation was at the time until we tested negative. And we bummed a lot of people out by missing those shows. But we didn't want to put anybody at risk.
Right, right.
And now, who the fuck knows what's going to happen from day to day? It just seems like there's a new pile of shit
Yeah.
getting shoved in our direction. So I guess we just cross our fingers and go on tour and see what happens and make the best choices that we can based on the information we have and where we're at on the tour, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's the best we can do, I guess. It is honestly overwhelming at times where like I don't, I try and avoid it, but every time I open my phone to
Yeah,
post something on the for the podcast or like I try to avoid it, but you have to do certain things if you want to have a career, and
right.
it's just always like, oh, so that's happening. Cool.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
I think that's the point, is to overwhelm people to the point where they
They give up.
give up somehow. But
Well, I'm glad you guys haven't given up. I mean, you guys
yeah.
did take a little break. You did take a little break in the middle there at some point a few years back, but
Hmm.
and I don't know if I remember telling you this, but we actually my band actually opened up for you guys on the farewell tour
Oh,
a while back in Florida, and I was like, when you guys came back, I'm like, well, there goes the specialness of that show. No, I'm just kidding. But that was a fun show, and I got all emotional. I'm like, no, they're leaving, and you're back, and that's awesome. So I'm glad you haven't given up, and it's like you said, 20 something years. Like, that's not. There aren't a lot of bands still around that have been around that long, and
Yeah.
with, I mean, all the members from
Yep.
original, yeah,
All
nobody's
original members.
all original members. Some bands that I like Deftones, for example, and no shade on them, but like
Hmm.
they've lost folks to life. They lost Chi and
Hmm.
all that, but like they've also swapped around a couple guitars here and there. Like Steph comes and goes whenever he can, and
Right.
it just to me it starts. Um, it becomes like a machine at that point, and that's
Hmm.
cool. They got to do what they got to do to make money, but there's more of a connection when it's the same original dudes just all still working together and being.
Yeah.
It's more. It becomes more of a story of perseverance and like being able to
Hmm.
stick through it with the same guys because humans tend to bicker and fight and things can happen.
Yeah. No, I'm thankful that we're all still doing it, and I don't think there's any end in sight. We're still super inspired to write and tour, and
You still
we're
like each
luck.
other.
Yes, yeah, and we're lucky enough to keep doing this. So as long as people will come see us and support us, we're gonna keep doing it because we love it.
Hell yeah! So this tour you got coming up,
Mhm.
who's I haven't seen who's opening.
Um, the opener is a band called Downward from Alabama. Really, really, really good band that I wish more people knew about, and that's
Okay.
kind of why we're taking them out. So I hope people come early to the shows and get out and see them. They're amazing. They have a self-titled record that came out earlier this year that's incredible. And then Modern Color, they are the support band. They uh, also put out a record this year that's great. And they opened one of the Illusion of Safety 20-year anniversary shows that we did back in the day. Um, Really, really cool band. That kind of sound like some of our early or still influences. Like they remind me of No Knife a lot,
Okay.
which is a definite favorite of everybody in our band. But they're local. They're from San Pedro, and we're stoked to have them out. They're good dudes, and I think it's going to be a really good hang and a great show.
How do you find new bands? Like, how do you personally like find these? Like, downward. You said they're newer. You wish more people knew. How did you find them?
Yeah, I don't know how I found them. I do a lot of digging, dig around on Bandcamp by genre. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
I try to pay attention to what people in bands are recommending, and then sometimes you can fall into a little rabbit hole um, that way and stumble across stuff. But I'm always on the lookout for new stuff, um, new inspiration, and then I remember when we were a younger band and starting out, the musical landscape was different back then. Not as easy to like prop up a younger band, but a lot of older bands helped us out by taking us on tour or mentioning us in press and stuff like that. So if I can do that for a younger generation of bands and try to prop people up and get them in the ears of people who listen to Thrice, then I think that's a positive thing. And also, I feel like there's a lot of negativity on the internet, obviously. Um, I like to be positive and share stuff that I like and try to help people out rather than shitting on, you know, some mega star or some band of the moment. I'd rather stay out of those conversations and help bands that are good.
That's admirable, man. I'm with you on that. Like I I'd say maybe 10 years ago decided to stop shitting on things that I don't like and just don't watch it or listen to it and let people enjoy things. Because,
Yeah, that's a choice you can make.
yeah, it's wild, guys. You could just stop talking shit. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, this sucks. I hate it. Well, then
Yeah.
why are you wasting your time?
Yeah. Like back, when 10 years ago or so, I did it once. I was like, oh, this band or whatever. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? Who am I trying to impress? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing good that'll come out of it. Like, unless they did something personally to me, like, one of
Right.
the singers slept with my girlfriend, and fuck that band. You know what I mean?
Right. Hmm.
But otherwise, just let people enjoy things. What's the
Yeah.
point of complaining? And it's become kind of a normal thing in our society to just kind of, what does it call it? Rage bait?
Yeah, for
Rage
sure.
baits, and I can't stand it. Like, and I thankfully I've seemed to be immune to it, where like I'll scroll and I'll see something, and it just seems like purposefully they're trying to piss me off,
Yeah.
or they're just shitting on it just to shit on it just to make you angry, and
It's
it's not
the
worth it.
it's the ethos of an entire political party right now. It's just making people mad
Yeah, I
or
wonder.
bumming people out. But we
It
don't need to
sucks.
go there.
No, it works though. It's crazy. People click on it and they get mad, and then
Yeah.
that's all they care about is generating clicks and views and whatnot. And I get it because I want people to see this. I want people to
Hmm.
watch the show, but I'm not going to use some underhanded, cheap way of getting there.
Right.
If watch for the good reasons.
Yes.
Um, do you go? Song went off on a tangent, but
All good.
um, do you go to shows? Like, do you still go to local shows? Do you get out?
Not as much as I used to because I got kids and
Mm,
you got to get a babysitter. Or sometimes I take my kids to shows. But I don't get out to as many shows as I would like to.
okay,
Um, yeah.
all right. Now, I wanted to get your thoughts on the like current state of music, where there seems to be a lot of bands, and I'm not rage baiting or trying to do anything
Hmm.
like that, but there seems to be a lot more bands that are genre bending. That
Hmm.
like one song is heavy, the other song is a completely different genre, like hip hop or drum and bass or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how do you feel about that? You guys kind of go around a little bit and not too far outside of the box, but you kind of play around with certain genres. So,
Hmm.
are you in for that? Do you want more bands to do this?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to genre bending. There's definitely some genre bending out there that is absolutely not for me, which is fine. I
Okay.
mean, when we were coming up, we were doing a little genre bending, and people were like, "What are you doing? You can't like." Are you a singy band or are you a screamy band? Or are you a metal band or are you a punk band? What are you? Are you a hardcore band? Like, help me put you in a box. So
Yeah.
I admire bands that are trying new things and trying to like blur the lines between genre. And I think a lot of it now is a product of streaming
Hmm.
music because everybody has all the music in the world at their fingertips or in their pocket or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so people are into a lot of stuff. Like people, it seems like people are not using a style of music as an identity as much anymore. Like back when we were starting, it was very much like, are you punk? Are you
Yeah.
hardcore? Like, are you metal? Like, do you wear the right clothes to be into metal, or like, are you a poser or whatever? And
Posers.
now people just like music because it's all available to them. And when I was growing up, it was like, you only had so much money to go to the record store and buy as many records as you could, and it was a risky purchase to buy something from a genre that you didn't necessarily love at the time, you know? But now somebody could be listening to a playlist and all of a sudden some weird hip hop song comes on or some fusion thing that like blows their mind. So that's cool, and I'm glad that people are um, trying to just do what they feel in their heart is the right thing to do, even if it's not for me sometimes.
For sure. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm glad that people are listening because I grew up with a pretty wide array of music. As a Latino kid, there's a lot of salsa and merengue,
Hmm.
and I also studied jazz in high school. Like, I've always been all over the place. But then, like, the way that I preferred to dress, kind of more metal-y, more gothy kind, everything
Hmm.
in black and
Right.
all that stuff, but people would put me in a box for that. So, like,
Hmm.
they see me in the all black, shirt with the blood or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, this dude only listens to death metal from Norway or something."
Right.
And I would like to mess with people too. Like, I used to do salsa classes, and I would show up in like metal shirts, and they'd be like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm here
Right.
for that reason."
Right.
For that reason specifically is why I'm here. Um, but I'm glad that we're at a point now, and I'm trying to get better at prejudging people as well when I see them. Like, if I see somebody with like fishnets and all that, I'm like, I'm not going to assume that they like X, Y, and Z.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they might listen to this yacht rock or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows these days? But I think it's cool. I think it opens more doors to people. And like you said, it's definitely the streaming thing. Like, everybody has
Mhm.
everything, so it's
Yeah.
hard to kind of just focus into one genre when you're in that state. Going back to the touring situation, you got Modern Color and Downward for this tour, but I wanted to ask you, what's like a perfect tour package for you for Thrice?
Mm.
If you could pick any band that's active, I guess, who would you take on the road that would be no money or paperwork
Oh,
holding you
geez.
back?
Hmm. That's always a tough one because like the bands that I would want to tour with, I don't know. I
Like, what
guess
would you
I
want to
mean
subject your fans to? Because
I
that's
would
what I'm
love to
getting to.
tour
Like,
with Botch. I mean, I know they're
oof,
not active anymore. They were active for a second, but yeah,
never
I would.
never say never. By the way, who knows? As I heard so many nevers from those boys before this happened that I was like,
Right.
all right, we'll see.
Yeah. I would love to tour with Botch. I went and saw them uh, at the observatory in Orange County. I think that was in December of last year, and it was like I still
Nice.
think about that show like every week. It was just mind blowing, and to hear those songs and have them just like kill it, like 20, no, not even 20, like 25 years after that record came out, 26 maybe. Um, just absolutely fucking killed it. And the lights were insane and it was so loud. And it was such like everything was just like so visceral. Like my body was just buzzing.
I feel you, man. I
And I,
did.
I carried that with me for like weeks afterwards. I was so stoked and I still think about it every week.
Did you get to catch them back before? Back the
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I saw them at like Coos Cafe, which is like a only for super old people venue. It was in Santa Ana. It was
Nice.
like a house. Saw them at Coos. I saw them. We played in Portland with Hot Water Music and Coheed, I think, in like 2001 or two.
Wow.
and they were playing down the street with Dillinger Escape Plan.
Of
And
course they
as
were.
soon as we finished playing, I like sprinted over to that venue to see them play.
That's
And it was
wild.
insane.
That's wild. I unfortunately never did. I found Botch post breakup, so it was kind of when I heard the reunion show happen, I flew out to Seattle. So I was like, who fucking knows?
Nice.
They may never
Yeah.
do the tour. I can't miss this opportunity.
Right.
So I flew out there. I saw them both nights at the Showbox, and then they announced the tour, and I'm like, God damn it! I just spent like $600.
Yeah. Just a ridiculously good band, and like
Yeah.
the stuff still holds up so well because they are like singular. Like you cannot duplicate that. It was way before its time when it came out, and it's still ahead of its time. Like nobody's doing shit like that.
No, yeah, and I got a little excited because they put out a new song, and I'm like, oh, a new album, but no,
Me too.
no, we'll see. Again, never say never.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe after this minus the Bear tour happens, they'll be like, hey, who
Yeah.
knows?
You
Yeah.
never know.
Speaking of heaviness and whatnot, you is Puig Destroyer done?
Ah, yeah, probably. Puig, the player is done, so
Yeah,
that project is done. It was fun while it lasted, though.
yeah,
It
that
was
was
cool.
fun. Yeah, what a story that guy. I I ended up meeting him because apparently my uncle raised or was like friends with his dad, and they were all in Cuba together, and he
Oh,
was like
wow.
a he would come over for family dinners and whatnot. So when they
Hmm.
were playing at the Dodgers, I got a chance to go out and like hang out in the locker room and say what's up and all this stuff. So,
That's right.
but then watching that trajectory, that journey of his, I was like, oof, man, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he was unhinged on the field and unhinged off the field as well. So,
Oof. Yeah. So, okay, so if that project's done, if you were to
mhm.
start a new grindy baseball themed project, are there any players right now that you would be like, okay, that
Um,
maybe we could pun something else?
maybe Ellie De La Cruz. Um, he's probably the one that comes to mind first. I think, yeah, he's probably it right now.
Okay.
Um, for a minute, I was going to say Pete Crow Armstrong, but he's kind of fizzled out a little bit. So we'll have to
Mm.
see if he has like a lasting presence. But I don't know, just dudes that like seem like they can make anything happen anywhere on the field at any time, like with their, how they run or how they hit or how they field.
I feel, I don't follow as closely as I used to, but I feel like Otani is one that's like you look at stats, like somebody sent me a stat comparison where like
Hmm.
he had more home runs than like Babe Ruth and like more strikeouts than Nolan Ryan. And it's like I growing up, that was never the thing. It was always like Nolan Ryan is a pitcher and
Right.
his best stats are pitching.
Hmm.
And like, the home run guys, the Canseco's and whatnot of the world, like they're good at
Hmm.
that. And this dude seems to be good at all of it. Like, how do you feel about Otani and
He's,
like, is he overrated or is he worth that
no,
money?
no, he's the best. He's the best baseball player of all time. And
You
it's
think
not
so?
even, yes, and it's not even close. Um,
Nuts.
he, I can't think of another player who, so I've watched a lot of them because I followed the Angels very closely until I kind of gave up on them a couple years ago. And um, we get Dodgers broadcasts and I follow the Dodgers. I have never watched a player that's made me like laugh out loud because of how ridiculously amazing he is at the sport, in any sport ever. Like not even watching like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron or like seeing Barry Sanders play football, or Tom Brady to a certain extent, like these dudes that are like legendary. None of them have made me react like physically the way Otani does. Like he does amazing shit almost daily. Um,
and it's that, like you said, all those legends you mentioned stick to their position.
right.
Right? You know, like
Yeah.
LeBron was always, I don't know what it was, guard, forward. I don't follow basketball, but
Mhm.
whatever his position was, that's what he did.
Right.
You know, Otani's all over the place.
Yeah. He's incredible. I mean,
Uh,
it's really, truly unbelievable
you
how
should
good he
start a
is.
Japanese hardcore band
Yeah.
about Otani.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wanted to ask you in terms of baseball, how do you feel? You've been watching for a long time. You're a big fan.
Hmm.
Um, how do you feel about I don't know it's been a while now, but
Hmm.
the new rules, the timer and all, like, did that, uh, did you think that was going to be shitty? Has it worked out? Is it better for you?
I did think that it was going to be shitty. Because I mean, I grew up playing and played in college for a little bit, and I've been like a super obsessive baseball fan my entire life. So I never had a problem. I was never one of those people that was like, oh, baseball's boring or it moves too slowly for me. Um, I always appreciated the kind of like meditative nature and slow pace of the game and the nuance that you can find in any moment during a game, whether it takes like 4 hours to play or if it takes 2 hours and 5 minutes. So I was a little hesitant about the pitch clock, but after watching it, I like it. It's not. It doesn't seem rushed to me. It might have at the first season that they put it into effect, but the game doesn't seem rushed to me at all. As a spectator at a game, it does feel a little bit rushed because in the old days, you could, an inning would end and you'd be like, oh, I gotta go take a piss or I gotta go grab some food or whatever. And then you could come back and you would know that you had only missed like a little bit of the game. And now it feels like if you get stuck in a line waiting for concessions or going to the bathroom, you come back and you're like, holy shit, what happened? Like, what inning is it? Like, it's the fifth already? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Um, but I like it. I think the larger bases they've led to more stolen bases, which is more exciting. Um, Trying to think of other rule changes. They're talking about bringing in like robot umps. So
No.
like automated balls and strike calling, which
I mean,
is not terrible, but I think it's another one of those things where it sounds like a little too much right now. And then I think it'll be put in place as long as they don't go overboard with it, and people will be like, "Oh, this is better." Because I
we're
mean,
gonna
I watched the Dodger game on Wednesday night against the Angels, and the umpire legit missed like 8 strike calls in the first inning alone.
it'll make it more
Uh,
precise, that's for sure.
yes, yeah,
But I'm worried that eventually, like, cut to 10 years from now, everyone is a robot playing
but
baseball.
yeah, yeah,
Like, now we're just watching robot baseball.
right,
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of scares me, but also could be better for stats and whatnot, you know?
right, yeah,
I feel you about the being in a game. I went to a Dodger game not too long ago, and I went to the Golden Road Bar, and I ran into some friends, and we had a drink, and
mhm.
then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go back to my seat. And like, I missed 4 innings, and and we're up by 6. Like, what happened?
Yeah, yeah,
What's going on? That's pretty wild. But I do
yeah,
enjoy it too because I like going to the games, and
mhm.
sometimes it's like, well, there goes my entire day. Because
Right,
back in the day, it was like, oh, that's just 4, 5, 6 hours, maybe a little pregame in the parking lot, whatever.
yeah.
It's your whole day. But now you can go to a baseball game and still go do stuff
Dodger
afterwards.
Stadium takes a whole day because it takes you fucking 5 hours to get out of the parking lot.
I hate that place. I never drive there. I'll drive around. There's a couple bars in the area. You just go to one of those and then Uber over,
Yeah.
or take one of those little scooters over there because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
insane.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, predictions. World Series.
Oh man. That's tough because I feel like it's pretty wide open. The Dodgers have been struggling.
Mhm.
Um, the Yankees don't look good. The Brewers look like they're out of their minds right now. They've won like 12 in a row, I think, and they just had a win streak of like 11 in a row not that long ago. Best record in baseball, but um, I don't know if they can hold on to that magic all the way through the postseason. And the postseason is weird anyway. Like you never know. Like what was that? 2 years ago, you had the Rangers and the Diamondbacks in the World Series, and it's two wild card teams that barely got in. Um, it's hard to predict. If I'm
Mm.
predicting with my heart, I'd say I want the Dodgers to win it.
Or at least, who are the two? Who's the World Series? Like, what were the two teams?
Let's go Dodgers Tigers.
Dodgers, Tigers. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm in between the Blue Jays and the Tigers because they're both like they're kind of doing the same thing. You look at the
Hmm.
stats, like the stats are pretty close.
Hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. I
Hmm.
originally had said we're gonna get Dodgers and Yankees again, but the Yankees haven't really been doing it. So
No, I'm fine with that. I don't
yeah.
like the Yankees.
Again, I told you I grew up in New Jersey, so I have an attachment because that was my first baseball team. But
Right.
back then, they were always kind of like a let's buy the best players kind of team. But
Hmm.
I don't know. During the time that I was going to games, I felt like it was a consistent. Like Don Mattingly was still there, and
Hmm.
I remember Andy Pettit was like like his rookie year was when I was like my last time going.
Hmm.
So it felt more like a team than let's just get the best players and always win or whatever
Hmm.
they did for a while.
Yeah.
I have always said I would feel more, I would be way more into sports if the teams were mandatory that you are from that city.
Mm, that
You
would be
know,
interesting.
kind of like the World Cup. I always watch it because they make the players go back to represent their country.
Hmm.
So I would do that, like, but for cities. I know obviously there's some cities have better programs and schools and
Right.
whatever, but oh well, step up your game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start wrapping up here because it's been almost an hour. So, classic grit.
Hmm.
What's your involvement? Because I see it on your profile, but like, are you
Um,
designing? Are you just owning?
a friend of mine and I started that brand in 2019, and we just kind of wanted to make baseball inspired clothes that didn't suck. I mean, we wanted like we would we'd been going to games forever, and you'd go buy a shirt or try to buy a shirt at the team store, and the design is either like super whack or it's printed on some t-shirt blank that is gonna shrink like three sizes when you wash it, or fits you like a burlap sack or something. So we wanted to print like aesthetically clean, um, baseball inspired merch on quality blanks, and that's basically what we've been doing for the last 6 years. We've had our ups and downs. We're kind of in a downward swing right now, but we intend to continue doing it.
Dude, just make Dodgers themed gear and put it
Well,
on.
we
Put
did,
it.
and then we got a cease and desist from Major League Baseball.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Boo!
yeah, they got us pretty good. That was one of the downs.
Boo!
Yeah.
All right. All right. And last question I have for you, and this is
Hmm.
because you're wearing it, and we're talking about clothing.
Hmm.
I need you to smarten me up about Carhartt because
This is
it's
literally the only Carhartt tee that I own.
okay. Because I've seen it everywhere. Everybody's about it,
Right.
and to me it feels like Dickies back in like the early 2000s, where it's a
Yeah.
workman's clothing, but now
Hmm.
it's become like a staple of like hardcore heavy music people.
Yes. I think I wanted a plain white pocket tee that was like kind of relaxed, semi-relaxed fit and a little more heavyweight. And I wanted to see what their blanks were like. And I literally just bought this one shirt.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Damn. So I got to find someone else to
Yeah, someone else.
school me on Carhartt because
Yep.
I mean, I get it. If it's just that, if it's just like it's the new Dickies, then okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. I get it. But I want to know because like, is it just because we're so broke that we need clothes that last longer? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Well, dude, thank you so much for doing
Yeah.
this. And thank you for being so like open and quick about it too. Like I just texted you and like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, oh, awesome.
Thanks for having
Um,
me.
I'm excited about the new album. Horizons West will be out October 3rd. Is that right?
Yes.
Have I got the dates right? All right.
Yeah.
October 3rd. Nash is available now if you guys want to go listen to that, watch the video. It inspired me even to do like a little mashup, old school like 2000s internet videos where you mash up a song with like footage of something you like an anime, or I did it with a pro wrestler.
Oh,
Uh,
sweet.
I'll send it to you so you can see it if you want.
Yeah.
But yes, go listen to Nash. Pre-order the album. The vinyls are different variants are available all over the place. Brooklyn Vegan has a version. You guys have your own versions.
Hmm.
Tour all of October. You guys are going all over the place.
October, it starts, I believe it starts October 17th in San Diego. And we'll be out basically until Thanksgiving. So we're
Oof,
doing the whole country and a few Canadian shows as well. So
awesome. I'm gonna try and come out to maybe the Anaheim show. I don't like bugging people for LA shows because I know how
yeah,
crazy LA is.
yeah,
All the suits are there, but maybe I'll come bother you in Anaheim.
right on.
But thanks again, and
Yeah.
everybody watching, please follow Riley, follow the
Mhm.
band Thrice, follow all Classic Grit, get some baseball merch,
Yeah, yeah.
and follow us at RRBG Podcast. Thank you once again, dude. I'll see you
Right
soon.
on. Thanks, man.
Later.
Appreciate it.